Good evening. It's Gregadeth for NPR Waukesha. Darrell, C3PO, Axon questions. I'm obsessed with. This is probably old news because I get to everything late. Like the most recent motion picture I've seen is Jaws. So I'm now getting around to the sovereign citizen Mafboi Fly. It's the witness. What's my witness? Because I'm witless and I'm dimming. Quick summary is this fucking lunatic is the I think the very fair but common terms that get thrown around for guys like this, people like this, if they're even people, are like monster and coward and demon and things like that, which I do not disagree with whatsoever. But they are, however, sort of abstract. They're strong words and they are fair words for this mammal or whatever. But I think to make it a little more pointed, get a little more on the nizzos for Darrell. He doesn't understand anything abstract as far as like what a coward is. Like he has a face tattoo and he shot at people and stuff. So people like this don't understand that cowardice can be having to borrow your mom's car, not having a job, not fathering your kids, hiding from everything. He literally hides. He hides behind boxes. He stares at the ceiling. What he is he's petulant. And Sue Opper, the head DA, used that word. She waited 3.5 weeks, I think, to drop it. But he doesn't. But see, that's the thing. You can't call him petulant. He'll go, what's that? Can you give me the cause for the substation? He objects to everything. Grounds. But petulant is the word. So he is a monster. He has no remorse. He is a child. He's very immature. However, he's conniving, but he's not cunning. Because I would say cunning would imply or would denote a success at being conniving, right? Does that make sense? You'd have to look it up. Cunning is like people who get away with it. This guy preys on not only women but unfortunate women. Like, right, the two women here who he's affected are currently during this crime. We're living together at a women's shelter, and he drives his mommy's car there. Doesn't get what he wants and kills 6 people, including an 8-year-old boy and an 80-year-old granny, and 4 others in between, and then injures like 70 more. But enough of that. That's the Cliff's Notes background. I always feel like I'm talking too much because I probably am. So what you're watching now, Waukesha, is Don't Call Me Darrell or Darrell. I'm a sovereign citizen who's behind me. I think it's tag team from wrestling. What? Dude, all right, I'll shut up. But one of the features here is how badly do you think these two, real men with day jobs, who both look pretty fucking capable to me, by the way, sitting in this proximity to Darrell, the patience of everybody that has to deal with this, his little fits. It's seriously like a toddler stammering around when he doesn't get his way, and just, why can't I have ice cream after 11? Well, you said, well, I want ice cream, So these two guys, the restraint that they show to not just, they're armed, to not pistol whip him or just use their this guy was in the Heart Foundation, I'm almost positive, And this guy is Big Boss Man's first cousin, except he actually is a correctional officer. Listen to the things that Darrell says to a judge. And I'll make my final point about women just quickly.
Just a quick second.
Right, unless you have a different topic.
He's barely.
It is.
Anything related to this? What's in the
There.
summary? The questions regarding what she heard or didn't hear around this time. We've gone through that. You've gone.
That was a Freudian slip. When she talks to Darrell, she just said anything he didn't hear, and I've caught her saying "ax." Can you re-ax the question? Because you have to talk to him in his maybe half-ass completed 11th grade, but now I think I'm Alan Dershowitz mind. So look at that look. These men, these deputies, are tasked with upholding the physical, like the civility of this court on the physical side, and they would love for him to do something that would warrant them to get to do their jobs. In this case, this would be the best day of their careers. Mr. Brooks is, I'm just going to say it beforehand, or else I'll forget. So to the women out there, the woman that's on the stand, probably under rough circumstances, is fucking taking him to the woodshed. I almost was sort of not giving her the credit that she deserves, as perhaps just, you can't understand what Darrell, attorney at law, Esquire, is saying. For one, he just talks and, he doesn't understand the procedure of law, nor is he eloquent in the least. But Erica Brooks, the former girlfriend that he threatened to kill, her good friend from the women's shelter who's on the stand right now, kick ass. And not only are they strong and literally in the face. Yeah, that's you, Darrell. I dabble in art on the side. I've been watching this clown so much that I just had to sketch him. Oh yeah, and then Grounds. Oh, Your Honor, you want me to take my Max off so you can identify me? Oh, what now? I got another Max on. Grounds. I'm double Max Darrell. Yeah, how's that work? Yeah. Take it off. Still can't identify me. I ran over a grandma and then yelled at her on the stand because she didn't get my license plate. So the women are extremely strong in the case of, not Monster, this petulant, really useless by any means. Do you think this guy's ever paid taxes? Do you think he knows? Oh, I hate that bitch, Sue Opper. I wish I had mom's keys because then I'd offer. So what? I never met my daughter. You call me a flopper, bitch. I don't play soccer. Yo, I should win an Oscar for the way I act when I ask all my questions. Delving in. Fuck the state's opinions. I'm a sovereign citizen and I rant over kids. That's how I'm living. Alright, that was my off the cuff Darrell, but I do like the Sue Hopper, gonna off you. I act like I got an Oscar. I don't play soccer, so you bitch don't call me a flopper. Lastly, the most fascinating aspect of this case is that this judge, who's now running for Minnesota Supreme Court, running for a seat on the Wisconsin Supreme Court, Jennifer Darrow, kind of cute. I'm sorry, that's disrespectful. I'm 43 now, so I say that about women as a complimentary, but that's far from what's important here. She's a good-looking woman, and she's smart, and her patience is like, I think when I say cute, I think that her physically she's good-looking, but she also her grace, and it's just really admirable. On one hand, I don't like the sort of, precedent's probably a strong word, but it's sort of, on one hand, sets a precedent, for lack of a better word, that this behavior is somehow that it's even a possibility to have 76 counts where you're dead to rights guilty and take 3.5 weeks of the state's time and do this. But however, she allowed that because of all the processes and the appeals process, whatever. I'm not going to try to act like a lawyer. Like Darrell. I see where that gets me when I try to act like a lawyer, so I should shut the fuck up. Grounds. He is so unlikable, as like, it just scratches the surface. The way I would put it is, I fucking dare anyone out there to name a bigger, watch 10 minutes, watch 10 minutes, okay? I've been stuck on this stuff for like 3 hours a night for 2 weeks now. Because I can't get enough of it. It's fascinating. A lot of it is the porn of watching him, and this is where I'm getting with my final point. These deputies, the prosecution, and the witnesses, everybody just buys into his throwing fits and his, use it for the last time, petulance. It's a great word, Miss Opper. And I think the reason why I'm watching it so much is not only does you learn a lot, you do learn a lot about the law. I like the team. I like the prosecution. And there is not a better villain, a real life villain, that we've come across in a long time. I guess that's where I get to this asshole thing. Like, I know I'm talking in tangents, sort of ad hoc. Probably because I've been watching Darrell Brooks for so long that I use word salad now. Substain, that's what it is. Grounds for the substain. So what Your Honor does is she has such a long wick that he feels like he won when he gets kicked out of court and has to go appear via video, or gets to talk over her, and she won't let it actually make her explode, right? She just the diffuse it, and I can see her just wanting to take her fingernails and jam them into her jugular. But she'll eventually get control, and it's got to be so fucking frustrating, particularly for these prosecutors. But they're smart too, right? And what Mr. Brooks doesn't know is that officers of the court know each other. They are lawfully allowed to discuss a lot of things about this case. He thinks that just because he's in court that he can find all these gotchas and, I got new evidence, Judge, and I made a motion to get dismissed because I'm a sovereign citizen. Like, he doesn't understand that Miss Hopper and the prosecutors, they know each other, and I would not ever say that the judge and the prosecutors have any kind of, precisely for this fact, that they don't want this thing, they want this case, this record, to be so fucking tight against him and his now 6 consecutive life sentences, 700 years after that, and then 300 years of supervised, 300 plus years of supervised probation, right? 6 consecutive life sentences, plus 730 some years, plus after that, after he does 6 lifetimes, 700 years, he's gonna wear an ankle monitor for 3+ centuries after that. Okay. So, long story short, the judge and the court at large would kind of throw this guy a bone, either by not letting him set them off, which is exactly what he's looking for in the case of Miss Opper. Give her an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress, and the Oscar for Best Actor, Best Actress. goes to, I don't know, is that one thing now that we're woke? Is there still a best actor and best actress? Or are we all, I don't know, it doesn't matter. Jennifer Morrow for this guy who takes advantage and grifts off of his mom, doesn't work, fathers kids that he doesn't participate in their lives, doesn't pay child support, is not engaged as a man in any of these women's lives, beats women, kills women with his vehicle later on. So now this woman has to eat crow in 3.5 weeks. I bet it felt like a lifetime sometimes. 10-hour days. Plus then at night having to grind over all his nonsensical, illegitimate, just no non-relevant, irrelevant motions and findings. And Your Honor, I got COVID and all this. But after 3.5 weeks of just like, and then saying things like, Mr. Brooks, you've been really good. All she would have to say is like after lunch, if he didn't take off his shirt or start pounding his fist, she would just be like, Mr. Brooks, you can come back into the courtroom, and you know what? You didn't blow up today. You had a couple good. He objects to every question asked. So all that this awesome, brilliant might be a strong word. I'm saying that the way she handled this is, maybe she is brilliant. She could just say, Mr. Brooks, you had it seems like you were articulate today, and I really appreciate that. And then you'd see those eyebrows would just, he would relax, and it's just like she pet him for 10 seconds, and it would take him maybe another 8 minutes for that little buzz to wear off, and then he's like, oh shit, I'm facing 6 life sentences, fucking, plus 800 more years. And then he would just clam up and start pounding the table and getting on the floor and spinning around like, a 2.5-year-old that doesn't want to eat green beans. I'm serious. And she did that and would just reel him back in so that at the end of 3.5 weeks, she could put this fucking cocksucker under the jail for the equivalent of, 1,000 years. So that's all for Gregadeth with NPR Waukesha, but I'll leave you with a little bit of Darrell.
Through it under 906.11, you need to move on and ask a new line of questions.
I was trying to, if I can get to it.
Go ahead.
This part of the summary that I'm Uncle stated that she did see pictures of Brooks following the Christmas parade incident via social media, and Runkle confirmed that was Brooks was I don't know, it looks kind of, I don't know if that's a mark on my screen.
All right, Darrell, I can't anymore. Anyway, Saints, all of them. This looks like just wasting everyone's fucking time, because you are going to have a lot of it to waste yourself. So, on behalf of Gregadeth, Meowstain, this here Gregadeth, NPR Waukesha.